Sorry about that. Oh, wait. Yeah, okay. I hopefully have all the information right to jump onto TV2 for Lily instead of JJ, who's just having a lot of issues with his routing right now as far as his ISP. So, sorry about the issues, and hopefully we are back on track without any more interruptions. I guess if you have to have issues, it's okay to have it in the first 3 minutes of the first game, but now we do see that Paris, aka Shashka, is taking a lot of damage. Rise taking even more. He's bursted down with a couple of great flat cannon shots, and now actually probably going to get the kill on crit as well. 2 right clicks, 1 more, there we go. Shashka claims a second life, but will not be able to get salved in time. I think that was Crystal Maiden's salve, but Paz doesn't get it out the moment they need it. And, wow. Nice frostbite, nice shackle, but he's still going to go in for the spin now. Going to fall back. Again, hopefully things are doing well on the stream. Throw a message out in chat just to let me know, but I'll just keep on proceeding as normal until that's good to go. So, yeah, essentially what we're looking at here, a bloodbath down in bottom lane. Mousesports really wants more action, but they want it always to be favorable for them. The fact that the gyrocopter was able to pick up phase boots, and I mean that movement, that flat cannon movement at the last engagement just was so darn good at making sure that he hit everybody with every single flak shot while still kind of kiting away, just move back, shoot, move back, shoot. It allowed them to burn down the Vengeful Spirit in like 3 seconds because she only has 4 armor and 580 HP. Really can't take that much punishment. Now we do see a smoke gank on mid. Windrunner still has 1 point in power shot, or Sackle shot, and Crystal Maiden has 1 in everything. So very possible to get a kill here, but a Unicorn does have 3 points in Untouchable, nearly maxed out here. In the meantime, Miggle doing okay on top lane, only 12 for 3 compared to Nature's Prophet's 20 to 7 though, and it looks like Link's on. I was actually trying to figure out in the lobby if that's actually Link or if it's Cinderon with a weird name, but the deal there is his profile's private, so I'm just going to call him Link's-on, and that's what you get for using the weird name. Okay, lift up down on bottom lane. We are going to see a spin and Magic Missile come out, and that is 1 dead gyrocopter. Nature Prophet rotates in just to lend a hand, but Paz has to tango out just barely. Beautiful shackle, though, from fucking Mad. Brings down the Juggernaut, and now should be able to bring down the Prophet. Paz will walk away unscathed, and that is a 2 for 1. Don't want to lose your gyrocopter under any circumstances, but if you have to lose them, it's great to get their 2 most important heroes in exchange. So, Juggernaut down, Nature's Prophet down. That's a lot of time not put towards Hand of Midas's and Aghanim Scepters and things like that. So, very, very nice to pick those 2 kills up. And also give some breathing room to Clockwork, who up to this point wasn't doing as good as he could have been. So, Miggle on the top lane, finding some CS now, and he will be able to get a little bit more tanky before he starts using that hook shot to initiate. In the meantime, Unicorn, again, with this interesting build, 3-1-1-1, is going for treads. He's going to be so durable. The only thing that can really hurt him is like the Rocket Barrage and Battery Assault and those incidental magic damage abilities, and then that of the Flat Cannon auto attacks, as long as they're not focused on him. As long as you're not attacking the Enchantress herself, you're not getting the reduced attack speed. So Gyrocopter is pretty good at actually dealing with the Untouchable Max strategy, but it's just something I haven't seen actually before, the lane Enchantress with the Untouchable. And although the ward that's being dewarded by crit right now is only 30 seconds from expiring, the 50 gold, it does kind of pay for half the Sentry ward at least, and to make sure that they don't have any vision in this area for quite some time. So let's just kind of back things off before their next piece of action goes out and see how each individual player is doing. Starting off with the carries, we do see that Shashka is farming up in the jungle, has found Phase Boots, Magic Wand, and Basilius. He'll probably go for a Drum of Endurance before going towards BKB if he feels it's necessary. Beyond that, we are going to be seeing the Juggernaut kind of deprived, to be honest. I mean, he's only sitting at 19 CS. As far as kills go, he's got 2-1-2, but unless something's on the courier, no. He is pretty down with the Boots of Speed and the Poor Man's Shield. Now, mid lane, there was a rotation. There was a successful kill with the hookshot of Miggle landing on the Enchantress, so that Fluffy still says is no longer untouched. But down bottom, fight breaks out. Gyrocopter drops very quickly. No cooldown to keep him up. And Miggle can't get in range on this Juggernaut. So they should be able to get out. No, actually going for Arm Slash. They turn around. Man mode on Miggle. And although he's stuck in the Frostbite, that only lasts for about a second. And he's able to walk away from there. In fact, Rubik wants to go for more telekinesis in range. Yes, they get to the Crystal Maiden. And that is going to be a guaranteed kill on her as well. Very nicely done for Mouse Sports here. Turning what was a rotation from Sigma into a triple kill for Juggernaut. Just fueling his momentum hardcore. Like I said, he only had like 300 gold. Poor Man Shield, Boots of Speed. Now look at him. He is going to be able to move towards one big item very quickly. And man, that Wrath of Nature. Windrunner felt safe under the tower, but if Nature's Prophet can see you, that is surely not the case. Now quick rotation of top lane for the Gyrocopter. He is going to move in to push down this tier 1 quite a bit, but he actually doesn't seem to want to commit to it with the Basilius currently off. Just going to fall back and maybe move towards his Drums of Endurance now that he's made Furion come back to top. But yeah, like I said, there's always going to be kills on the board. 9 to 8 Mouse Sports favoring for the moment, but they really need these kills. Like I said, they picked a very push-oriented lineup with the Healing Ward, the Vengeance Aura, the creeps from the Enchantress, and although they do have some mid to late game carry potential with the impetus of Unicorn, with the crit of Juggernaut, they really would benefit from some substantial gold advantage from towers. So I think that needs to be their shift in focus, maybe 2 minutes from now. And if they can get 1 or 2 good tier 1s, they're going to feel pretty good. Starting off, they have some damage on the tier 1 mid, they have no damage on the tier 1 top, and they have about the same, about a quarter of the HP of the tier 1 on bottom. So starting things off, they've already kind of softened them up a little bit, but they really need to kind of deliver the pile driver and just play Demolition Crew for a couple minutes. Anyways, a bit easier said than done. Obviously, we see a lot of movement on the map right now. Fata using his ultimate to harass down Unicorn, just using the magic damage mostly with that power shot. Looks like Paris wants to come in. Yeah, Sashka will connect with the first part of the cooldown, and that's going to be enough for the Rocket Barrage to get this kill. Maybe, no. Shackled up, power shot will fly. Successful hit there, but Sashka on the run, taking a lot of hits. There is going to be a nice little Frostbite turned around onto the Nature's Prophet. And I think with this power shot, yeah, they're going to get this kill. An amazing hook shot coming in from Miggle. Had the vision, had the range, and will connect on the Vengeful Spirit, setting up 3 kills in total for absolutely no casualties. Amazing for Sigma as they just bounce back hardcore. Look really bad for them on bottom lane. On mid, things are going much more smoothly, and it's really on the fact that they are getting aggressive. They have heroes that can tank up a little bit here and there, and they're using them to that capacity. So I actually do really like how they're playing this thus far, and it's only going to get better from here, as we do see the hook shot is cooling down 30 seconds with an Invis rune pocketed for Miggle. This is going to be a guaranteed kill pretty much if he uses it appropriately. But we do see, but speaking of guaranteed kills, a very aggressive smoke gang coming out of Mouse Sports. Rise, Crit, and Unicorn all heading down to swooping around the Ancients. They're going to be most likely making a move on Fata on the mid. And if he keeps his HP pool at what it's been, that should be a pretty guaranteed kill. Now, it looks like Fata's got a chainmail, probably looking for a mechanism of his own that'll leave Windrunner and Crystal Maiden to pick up more wards, more Tranquil Boots, and move in towards their own set of like Force Staves and other items that they feel will give them better potential in the team fights. But we do have a quick pause coming out. Just need 1 sec according to Fucking Mad, and we'll see. Hopefully that won't take too long here. Interesting to see Fucking Mad on the Windrunner. He has played some great supports, but support of Windrunner is one that I haven't actually had the pleasure of spectating myself directly. It looks like they're both good on both sides, so we will see this unpause come across, and we see already the lines being drawn out on the board. There is already that movement, there is already that rotation, and although the Dire Ward is here, there is no Radiant Ward. Sigma know that they are completely blind in this area, but walking right into it anyways. Fucking Mad will be lifted right onto the top of the cliff, and this is really bad for him. Stuns out the Windrun, and is going to be right-click down easily. Enchantress moving in towards her next big item very quickly. Actually going for an interesting double null tally build, just trying to make sure she has as much magic damage as possible, or actually pure damage, by spamming out intelligence spell after intelligence spell. I don't think I'm making much sense there. The impetus costs a lot of mana. At 55 at rank 1, at 60 at rank 2, and she really wants to make sure she has as much intelligence as possible to get all of those off, as well as maybe a Nature's Attendance. So, there we go. And that's going to allow her to Spam more. Crit's actually going to TP out of here, which might be a bit of a blunder, as we do see a good rotation. Speaking of rotations on mid lane, the hookshot will not connect, but they get in range for the battery assault, and that might be enough. No, double TPs. Very bad spot for both Miggle and Fata. Wrath of Nature comes across. Unicorn gets the slow, but can they get anything more than that? Yes, they get the Sprout. A lot of damage coming in. The Clockwork actually gets the kill on the Rubik on the back line, but Fata manning up will kill Linkson. Will kill the Nature's Prophet with that overpowered Nether Toxin damage output. So it ends up being a 2 for 2 with 2 or 3 TPs to rotate to mid. That's not too shabby for Sigma, because it gives farming space for Gyrocopter, who's just going to use his ultimate on the creep wave. He's going to push hard with this Aquila on the tier 1 bottom, and so far the tier 1 mid stands. A couple points in healing ward mean that they should be able to finish this off, but all in all, that aggressive dive wasn't as punished as I expected it to be. Nether Toxin, the fact that Clockwork got back into melee range of the Rubik, these factors mean that they were able to actually make that a pretty even exchange. And again, Gyrocopter dropped the tower down to 529 HP down at bottom, and he has been farming up a storm. Looking over at CS, he's almost on par with the Nature's Prophet, who's been half and half in the jungle. So we do see, oh wow, early Roshan. This is half of the strat right here. They have the healing ward, which is great, but most importantly, Unicorn has this untouchable, and Roshan's attack speed is in miserable state. It's just, he can barely do anything at all. Very few bashes, very little physical DPS, and of course, like I said, Ace has the healing ward. So throwing out a couple wave of terrors here, they're going to be able to bring this down in no time at all, and I don't think Sigma have a single clue. They know that there's a few heroes off the map, but there's that rocket. There is that rocket flare. I don't think they're in time yet, though. Miggle too far away for a hookshot. Yeah, this is going to go to the Dire, and Enchantress will claim it. So 13.5 minutes in, the first Roshan. A nice little cheeky play that will give them a bit of an advantage. Looking over at the goal graph, we are seeing that it's actually pretty even here at almost 0. Seeing as Dire just picked up that Roche, it should go tiny bit in their favor, but the experience is much more so looking their direction. I mean, we do see over 2,000 towards 2,500 working out for them. And if we look over at the levels, it's actually pretty dense on 3 heroes, 3 core heroes: the Nature's Prophet, the Enchantress, the Juggernaut, all sitting at 10 or above now, all 11. And although the supports aren't doing that great at 7 and 8, their priority was to get those rank 2 ultimates. So 3 rank 2 ultimates compared to 1 for Mouse versus Sigma. This means this is their time to shine. They have an Aegis. This is a 6v5 with 3 very powerful ultimates, and they really just want to jump into it in a moment. But first, it's farming time. Right now, Link's on, moving towards that mechanism. He does have the buckler and the headdress, so in a very short time period, he will have that full mech, with the Midas having been used at least once here. Smoke King comes out from Sigma, though. They're going to make their move. Fata, fucking mad, and Pause heading towards that top lane. If they can get the kill on the Prophet before that mechanism comes out, that's going to be extremely good for them. But the timing is crucial. They're going to actually go. They're actually going up the ramp. This is something that most teams don't opt for because it is so easy to be discovered walking right into somebody who's sitting on the high ground. But because it's nighttime, it's a little more viable. So they're hunting, but they might become the ones that are the hunted. Fata in a bit of a rough patch. There's that Omni Slash, obliterating him. And yeah, that's what I'm talking about with that 2 points in Omni. They're actually forcing the Windrun immediately. Or sorry, the TP from Windrunner. So yeah, Venge took some hits, but she ended up being okay. Actually see fucking Mad take some harassment on mid as well from her own power shot, no less. And actually a beautiful shackle shot onto the creep in front of Crit, getting disabled under the tower, but it's not focusing him yet. Miggle claims the kill, looking for cogs. No, it doesn't work out. He should have gone for the hook shot first. The hook shot would have guaranteed the cogs, but he let that fish slip away, unfortunately, and he's just going to swim back to the Fountain of Health pond. Or actually doesn't even need to, with that Ring of Health sustaining him, the magic wand, and of course his healing ward. He feels confident to push here, and this is dangerous for Sigma, because this is the time the towers start dropping, though we do see some good call down harassment on the lane for the moment. Force staff already picked up for Enchantress. Let's look at the items list real quick before we get into the next big engagement, as I'm sure that will happen in no time at all. We do see that Juggernaut has started with a Ring of Health. I'm not sure if he was thinking about Battle Fury or just for some sustain, but either way, now he's moving towards the point booster for the Aghanims, and I think that's the right course of action for him. We saw how effective those 6 bounces were, and sometimes you just gotta jump. Anywho, beyond that, we do see some basic items, the mechanism being the only core one for mouse sports beyond some basic magic wands, Basiliuses, that kind of thing. Back over to Sigma's items, we do see that Mechanism is 600 gold away for the Viper. The BKB is quite a long way away from Gyrocopter, but at least he's making his way that direction. And everybody else is just kind of picking up some basic components to stay alive in the fights. Now we do see a hookshot onto Linkson in the mid lane. Has that mech, but it's not going to save him here under too much pressure. Throws out a couple of abilities, but in the end he will fall. And this smoke, I think it was a smoke, maybe not. This movement from the Dire down towards the bottom is completely turned around on. Actually, a nice swap, bringing Miggle into a dangerous position. He's going to get right-clicked down. Locked in the cogs. It means Ace is all by himself for the moment. He actually can't pursue underneath the tower by himself. So they will claim a 1-for-1. Offlaner for offlaner. As we do see both the tree and the clock fall. Now the tier 1 tower dropping down. Not sure about this fortification. It looks like they really want to contest. They do get the shackle. This might work out for them, but they don't have call down is the big deal here. Frostbite comes out. Healing ward drops, and that is the quick death of the Gyrocopter. Just too much damage from this Enchantress. And the tier 1 drops. So again, fortification, not the best course of action. They should have let it drop given the Gyrocopter's HP and lack of cooldowns, but hindsight's 20/20, and they lose a lot for that one. Anyways, immediate rotation down to the bottom lane. Nature Prophet's back in the action, and that global teleport puts them right back on the front lines. Speaking of front lines, I just want to mention again that this is a event for the Typhoon Haiyan Dota 2 charity event, and right now there are plenty of individuals for Red Cross on the front lines trying to help them out, give them food, water, and help them find their families, etc. We do see a kill probably on down on bottom, fucking mad. Will throw out a couple spells before most likely falling. No, the Mechanism keeps him up. Great movement from Fata with that mech from the Viper. Popping the Aegis of Unicorn, and now getting a great hook shot on the back line for onto crit. He's gone. Here comes the spin. Ace trying to do what he can. He will bring down Sashka, but Unicorn getting obliterated by Clockwork's abilities. One more power shot's all they need, but they don't get it. They lose their tower, and they're not really in a great position to pursue. They get stunned. Miggle taking huge damage. The Ghost Scepter will keep him up for a little bit, but he has to run. Ace will fall to some good long-range abilities and attacks. Unicorn getting shackled again. This should be his death. Yes, Miggle will fall alongside him, but Linkson has nowhere to run. Teleport is his only option. He will go for it, and he will not get it. That other option just so darn strong. So, yeah, that is going to be, oh goodness, a 2-for-3 in favor of Sigma in that regard, but the tier 1 tower dropping down means it still keeps on giving map control to Mouseports, and they're feeling pretty good about that fact. Anyways, as I was saying, the stream is in support of the Red Cross, and if you want to help support them directly yourselves, we are running the charity event where you just type in !donate, and if you do that, you'll get redirected to the stream to the site that you'll be able to donate directly to Red Cross there. So that's what it's all about, is helping out those in need. And right now it looks like Gyrocopter is going to need some assistance because this Vengeful Spirit has her swap, uses it here. A couple of disables come out. Actually, the Magic Missile not yet. Wow, really late Magic Missile. But here comes Unicorn with those impetuses, dropping him down pretty low. Frostbite forces the Nature's attendance. And now we're seeing the fight break down a little bit. Fata trying to go for this tower. Should have it. No! Linkson with the very last right click is able to finish the job. Will negate that gold for Sigma. And you look at this gold graph, and it's actually pretty brutal for them. They are right now down 2,000. They got, like I said, they got a lot out of that team fight with the hero kill, but they're still behind as far as gold, though they are almost at even odds in terms of experience. Now we look at just a little bit of spell steal action. Going to steal up the Nova, a little bit more effective than Flat Cannon at this stage in the game, so that might be good for them. Alrighty then, so looking at the item list, right now 2 Ghost Scepters out for Crystal Maiden Clockwork. This is going to force a Juggernaut to go for a Diffusal Blade immediately after the Aghanim Scepter, but still a great item pickup for him, so he's pretty well happy to go for it, I believe, unless Ace isn't up to date on the meta and how awesome it can be to use items while Omni-Slashing. But I hope he will know the benefit of Diffusal Blade against these Ghosts, because they are already stacking them up. One on the Clockwork, one on the Maiden. It's just really frustrating to go for the Omni Slash and then it just bounces around on people you can't even touch. But anyways, we are seeing the tower get dropped down very quickly. Ace is kind of on the front line, just forcing back the Radiant. But it looks like they really want to go on this. The call down will come across, but the tower's already gone. Nice shackle shot onto 2, but the call down is out of range of all of them. The call down was wasted, and now the Omni Slash comes, pause with the Ghost Scepter, but he's still bouncing, going hard onto Miggle, onto Fata. The spin comes out, but he's on the retreat. Pause is the one to fall first. Now Miggle, no Ghost Scepter for a moment. He stays alive, but Ace gets swapped out. A beautiful swap. Amazing. 4-staff Juggernaut will live at the cost of the Vengeful Spirit. Maybe the Nature's Prophet, but he throws his Midas and just goes for the TP. Yes, he's gone. They get 2 out that they honestly should not have. Now going for the Orb Walk onto Unicorn. It's actually really hard to slow him up with this poison attack because of the Untouchable. It looks like Crit's going to take one for the team, trying to get Unicorn out of there, and with this force, they will get all their cores out. Oh my goodness, what a sacrifice play from Mousesports. Seeing both the Crystal Maiden and the Rubik just completely suicide to get some amazing support for their more important heroes. The swap of the Juggernaut into the 4-staff from the Enchantress. Oh, what a combo to keep Ace up and kicking. And they were able to get the teleport. They were able to get this untouchable Enchantress right on out of there. And wow, that went actually pretty good for them. Like, they still kind of traded evenly, but it could have gone so much worse in that position. So looking back at the goal graph, we do see more advantage for Mousesports. Experience, again, is still a bit of a wash, as they've always been playing 5-man Dota, and that just does distribute their experience evenly spread among their allies. Hope my mic's not muted. Maybe somebody can give me an update on that one.
It's not, you just took a breath, I think, and everyone went, "Mic muted!"
Oh my gosh, I stopped talking for 3 seconds. Game over.
Yeah, I know. I think they're just used to me constantly muting my mic and then forgetting about it. It's like 5 minutes of silence. Someone's like, Lily.
There you go.
You there?
Yeah. Whew, this is a fun game, though. This has been pretty interesting. Do you have any thoughts on it, real quick?
A lot of kills. I'm not used to this. This is not the kind of Dota that they normally play. I mean, from level 1, they're just killing each other. But I find this Enchantress pick really interesting, and I was looking through their stats. I was trying to do a stat thing, but I suck at it, so I'm not original enough. But they did pick up Unicorn playing that Enchantress solo mid a couple of days ago. It might have even been yesterday. It didn't work out for them, so they lost. But I guess they're just giving it another go, because this is just a tryout match. So maybe they're trying to force a new meta, Unicorn solo mid on Enchantress.
New meta indeed, but I mean, so far it's been working out for them pretty well. They've gotten Roche twice over, they've gotten a number of towers, they've gotten tons of farm on some core heroes, and now they feel like they're in a position to fight. I mean, the Sheepstake out on Linkson, going to use it on fucking Mad up on top lane, a little bit out of position with this wind run on cooldown, and now going 1 versus 3. She saw the TP, she backed off, and then she kind of just tried to go into a position she really couldn't contest. So, bit of a blunder, but hopefully not that costly, though. As we see the death timer, she didn't buy back or anything, did she? No, that's just an amazingly high-level Windrunner, to be honest. Generally don't see a... it was a supportive Windrunner, right? Yeah, supportive Windrunner being level 14 right now, but now down at bottom. Paused, locked in, but now with Ghost Scepter gone, Ace should be able to burn her down easily, yeah. Nice Sprout to start things off. Linkson just playing the Initiator Prophet. Sprouts, Sheeps, whatever you need. He's there to set up the kills. So that's worked out pretty well for them so far, but it's not been enough to stop Shashkova to pick up his BKB. Black King Bar now available for him. The Aghanim Scepter, only 100 gold off for Fata, and that is going to put them in a position where they can just stand and deliver extensively. The one thing about Unicorn playing the kind of core mid Enchantress is that they really want to get the most out of this impetus. They want to make sure that Unicorn is at range and able to right-click out hardcore on people that are as far away as possible, especially with that Aghanim's attack range upgrade. But with this position here, the BKBs, the Aghanims, they can really just jump on Unicorn. They can get really close, and that impetus doesn't really do that much damage. On top of the fact that, of course, BKB nullifies the orb effect entirely. So in that position, I really do feel like Sigma are able to shut down Unicorn. And with these Ghost Scepters and no Diffuser yet, Ace is still a more or less unreliable hero, because he does not have the ability to guarantee kills. Like, he's going to jump on pause. Oh, I think they get the Sheep. This should actually guarantee it. They get one quick crit, but the Ghost Scepter's there. Spin instead. Oh, nice magic stick, but still going to fall. It's going to be a potential shackle here, though. Does not get close enough to the tree line, so Ace will just pop the healing ward and head for the hills, and it looks like he will be able to get out just barely. Dual rotation from the Rubik, from the Vengeful Spirit, trying to make something happen down here, but Miguel has his hookshot, has his Force Staff, and he's able to lock anybody he wants in a cage. Just needs a little bit of good vision. Speaking of Radiant Vision, they have a nice little ward up here on the bottom lane, and that might be just the observation they need. Actually, Ace also walking in a bit of a rough patch, but the Rocket Flare actually heads the direction of Rise, who is currently in Viz. So right now it looks like they don't want to venture out too far. They don't know enough about the enemy's position. If they did, they probably would have gone on it, because it was going to be a 3 versus 2 or a 4 versus 3 when Vengeful Spirit came in. So it wasn't actually a bad spot for them. Now stalking things up, Rise with that Invis rune, has for about 10 more seconds, needs to close in very quickly, but even if Juggernaut just is the only one to get here, that means that Nature's Prophet can jump in with the Sheep Stick and bring him down. But it looks like actually they're going to pop the Omni Slash onto fucking Mad. The auto attacks will miss, but the slashes from the Omni Slash will not. Now going for a spin TP should be successful since the hookshot's already been used. So they're just kind of playing a distraction game, forcing them in their jungle, just keeping them closed into that tiny space while they get farm elsewhere, where Enchantress gets her Aghanims, moves in towards her next big pickup, and also we see Nature's Prophet farming away, soon to use that Midas. So in this position, we look at the net worth and we see, yeah, Ace, he might be messing around the jungle right now, but he's already got his core. He's sitting at 10.5k, not doing too shabby himself, and Nature's Prophet in the meantime is able to move towards bigger and better items. Started with a supportive mechanism, then for an initiating sheepstick, and now for an attack damage output Eye of Scotty. Going for the Orb of Venom, that can only mean the Eye of Scotty, and what a pickup to have this stage in the game. I remember like a couple years ago where it was core for Nature's Prophet to pick up Satanic Scotty and just go hardcore late game every game with over 600 CS, and seems like Linkson's bringing it back in style. So, interesting to see him kind of play that core mindset, but now the smoke getting very, very close to their target. It looks like actually double damage. Juggernaut is in a very bad position here. Will get slowed up, but it's actually going to be Unicorn that they orc it up. Looking for a new target. BKB pops, but they're not finding anybody yet. They need one piece locked, and they don't get it. They don't get the hook shot. Miguel is all by himself with the Enchantress, but a nice swap from Rise means they're still not finding any picks. They get the Shackle on Rise. They will get one kill, but Crystal Maiden dies on the back end. They turn things around, trying to force them down, but Ace has the double damage. Wants to right-click hard. No, just goes for the spin. Doing some damage to Fata very quickly. He will get the kill, but locked inside the cogs. Miguel, Unicorn gets shackled. Pursuing onto Linkson on the eastern end. That Rocket and Barrage should finish him off. Miguel gets forced after away with that huge impetus damage. There it is, the kill. Triple kill for Unicorn. Back up to Linkson. Gets a sheep and a sprout on Paris, but now in a very rough position. Actually going to see Paris TP out. Knew that he was kind of a dog in a corner and did not want to be backed out any further, so he will just TP away successfully. But as a whole, what a fight for Mouz. It looked a little bit rough for them because the smoke gank started on Sigma's hands. They actually were the ones to try to start things off, but they didn't have any lockdown. They had a Gyrocopter who pops his BKB, and then all he can do is like a couple of ticks from Barrage. He can't actually get guaranteed right clicks because everybody is running just as quickly as he is. So in that position, what they absolutely needed in that situation was a hook shot to connect. They threw out the hook shot on Clockwork. It just kind of thread the needle, went right in between two heroes, and they couldn't pin anybody. As a result, Mousesports were able to swoop in from behind, waste the Gyrocopter's time by just running him around in circles, chasing down the Nature's Prophet, which he didn't end up getting. And as a whole, Mousesports just really obliterated Sigma. Now we do have a quick pause coming out. Again, fucking Mad needs just 1 sec. We've seen this somewhere here before. Not a big deal. It looks like very close to the Eye of Scotty. We do see that it is, math is failing me right now, about 550 away, I think, for that point booster. So that is going to be very nice for him to be able to pick that up, slowing down the Gyrocopter even if he's BKB'd. And honestly, he's not a very high attack range hero at only 365. If you can slow him with those right clicks, it's actually going to be very hard to stay on target. And you could say similar things about like the Clockwork wanting to be always in melee range to avoid impetus damage, to keep his battery assault active, so on and so forth. So that might help out there too. But as a whole, it just gives great stats, a great collection of durability as well as attack damage output with that mixture of agility and intelligence for a hero that really benefits from those stats. So Prophet taking it to the late game. He's going to play a bit of a carry. And now wants to make his mark down on bottom as they push in for the kill. They got all their ultimates up. That Egnum Scepter makes Omni Slash at only 70 seconds. So as soon as Wrath of Nature comes up, they are at full strength here on the bottom lane. And right now, it looks like Sigma weren't ready for it. Fatus is going to go farm Ancients that he's been stacking up with a Dominator. I believe Gyrocopter has, but a Shackle will fly down on bottom. Just trying to delay the inevitable kill in this tower so that they can make sure they can hold their tier 3. They're trying to wait out this Aegis. Actually, that's gone. That was completely gone. It's been for another past minute and a half. But anyways, yeah, I have Scotty comes out for the Nature's Prophet, and this is where things start looking bleak for Sigma. I mean, like I said, the Gyrocopter is a great carry. Currently stacked very hard with this Dominator. Has the BKB, but unless he pulls out something magnificent with this Ancient stack that he's just gotten, he's still too far behind to make the hugest difference. Like, this is moving in towards Divine Rapier territory, just because if you look at the gold graph, they're down 10k in both gold and experience. This is just, it's very difficult for them when they have such limited farming territory, and it might be Paris getting ganked up here. Yeah. No wards. No, they're not going to scout it. They're not going to ward it. And although they might be privy to something like this going on, the swap, no. Centaur Stun will connect, and Ryze will just claim the life of the Centaur himself. Actually connecting onto Ryze. Might be able to swap himself off, but there wouldn't be much point to it because he'd just be signing somebody else's own death warrant. So he made a bit of a mistake there. He does pay for it with his life. Gyrocopter finishes off the Ancient stack, and we do see some smoke movement, though albeit without the hook shot available. Going to be hard to pick off Nature's Prophet here, but if anybody can do it, the Shackle Shot into Battery Assault certainly can. Here comes that Teleport. They will get the Orchid. There's a Shackle, a Battery Assault, but Crit blinks in. He gets the lift. The Power Shot will come across on both of them, and Linksaw is just too darn tanky. Look at that Scotty. HP. He uses the mech, tanks with the Scotty, and he's still alive. But Vata, pause, changed that quite a bit. Now, bouncing around, Omni Slash, not a very effective usage there with those ghosts, and he has to, again, Blade Fury TP. Miggle's Cogs won't knock him back in this patch, and as a whole, that went really well for Sigma, to be honest. Like, the Nature's Prophet almost looked like he could tank all through that all, but he didn't have any backup. The Vengeful already had Fetter Life, the Enchantress was nowhere to be found, and the Juggernaut, like I said, without a Diffusal Blade, isn't able to actually do that much with his ultimate. And that's what I was talking about, him being a rather unreliable hero in those scenarios. So he desperately needs... He has his Battle Fury that's allowing him to do more damage in cleave setting if everybody kind of groups up together. But the Battle Fury is enhanced damage. It still doesn't hit targets that are ethereal. And as a result, he's still thwarted by the exact same thing that's been messing with him the past 15 minutes. Now a Cheese Roast is available. Ace is going to tank that one up, but this time a Rocket Flare will come out in time, and I think they can actually contest this. Rank 2 hookshot, closing in range. He can jump now. Pretty much they're just waiting for the right timing, waiting to feel very confident in this position here. Okay, one more flare. Roshan down to 3,000 HP, and they stopped attacking for a moment, now jumping right back into it, but this could be a full engagement for the Roche. Are they going to try to go for the snatch here? One more Rocket Flare to fly in just a moment, but it's too little too late. Aegis ghosted Enchantress, going for the cheese. Miggle, man mode for the cheese. He gets it, but Paris taking a lot of hits from this Omni Slash. Unicorn will not drop down just yet. Ace, low HP, getting right-click down. He will drop. No, actually barely surviving for the moment. He heals with the Healing Ward, and he takes a couple more right-clicks to bring him down. In the meantime, Enchantress respawns with the Aegis. Rise, Magic Wand, almost keeping him up, but gets shackled, and that's going to be his death. Fata dropping down hard from this Impetus spam. Just gets the ultimate off on Unicorn. That might be enough to bring her down, but fucking Matt's kind of all by himself. He is the last man standing, and no longer he stands. The buyback from the Vengeful Spirit. They take everything from that fight. Now, Mikkel, I think, still has the cheese. Yeah, he does, but as a whole, engaging that position, it wasn't what they wanted. They really wanted to get the call down, get a ton of flat cannon and right clicks, but the Juggernaut lucked out quite a bit with his Omni Slash. He bounced on Gyrocopter at least 4 different times, and it brought Gyrocopter's HP down to below half within the first 4 or 5 seconds of the fight. So the farm that they put in the Gyrocopter amounted to almost nothing, as he was able to get maybe 2 flat cannon auto attacks off. The call down didn't do nearly anything, and yeah, he just barely got the kill on the Venge, and I believe there was one more target. Oh, the Enchantress. He popped the Aegis to the Enchantress, but again, 2 respawn, 1 from buyback, 1 from Aegis Immortal, and they're able to seal the fight pretty conveniently. So, really good fight for Mouse Sports now. They didn't get the cheese as they intended, but they got the Roche Golden Experience for the 3rd time, and they did make good use of the Aegis the Immortal. So, in a pretty good position here. And continuing to put pressure out on Sigma. If we look at the ward vision right here, a freshly placed observer ward, providing great perspective of those rotating from the bot lane to the mid lane or vice versa, and also anybody going towards those ancient creeps. They're going to see that without it being sentry warded, most likely. That's just an unlikely sentry ward place for the most part. Same thing with this mid ward, though, that will be expiring of its own volition in about 2 minutes here. Alrighty, Diffusal Blade finally comes out for Juggernaut. This is what Ace has been needing. Now he gets Orchided, though. He can dispel it, but no, gets Shackled. Gets Shackled instead, and he is going to get bursted hard with the Zombie Slash. Still goes for the Omni. Will do a lot of damage here, and the Cavalry has arrived. Oh my goodness, that Wrath of Nature damage. Windrunner's already gone. Fata down to half HP as he's hit by his own Viper Strike, courtesy of Rubik. Miggle tried to Cogs to get everybody out. He will fall. Will anybody else escape? Yes. 2 more got out. The Sheepstick on cooldown, but although there were only 2 casualties to this, they have no way to defend these towers. Looking at buybacks, we do see that there is 1 on Viper, 1 used immediately on Clockwork, and 1 saved on the Gyrocopter, though he would prefer not to use it. So if they start putting hard pressure like we see up here on the top tier 2, this is just going to get very difficult to hold the line. They, like I said, they drafted up some counter push in the Gyrocopter, the Power Shot, the Rocket Flares, but it doesn't amount to enough when we see how farmed this Nature's Prophet is. Luckily, they do have a silver lining. They have found a core pickup in the MKB. And although the Black King bar is only down to 8 seconds, Harris still will do a lot of right-click damage and has just been handed the cheese. This is a really good decision from Miggle to Sashkova, is to make sure that he can have essentially 2 health bars. And if he can just survive just long enough to get that full flat cannon off and call down with this MKB, the fight's going to be completely different than what we've been seeing all game long. Now, there was this observer ward placed. I'm not sure if it caught the tail end of that smoke, but they are smoked up, now making a move towards the bottom rune spawn crit. The one in jeopardy, though, he has Freezing Field up his sleeve and could use that on the high ground here very effectively. If they just sprouted trees on the high ground with this Freezing Field, this could be amazing for them, but the Force Staff comes out. They have to blink away. Instead, Miggle right on the mark. Crit will have to Force Staff out of the cogs, and now Fata looking for that Viper Strike onto Unicorn, not finding it here. Wow, I'm amazed that nothing happened. I am just dumbfounded that they weren't able to find anything here. Right-clicking down the tier 1, doesn't have any backdoor protection, so it's no problem at all, but they have a long way to go if they want to try to go for the tier 2, with that creep wave pushing out halfway to their base. Oh, I can't believe that didn't work out for them. Like, they didn't find a single thing. And that's the power of Force Staves, really. I mean, Rubik has a blink and a Force Staff, Enchantress has a Force of her own, and even Vengeful Spirit has a blink right now, so they have such range of initiation, and in this case, as we saw, a range of de-initiation as well, when they don't want to take a certain fight, like the ones that force them to cluster up around Gyro. Whew, wow, this is getting very interesting. I definitely don't have that good of an understanding of who's going to take this game away. There's good movement from both sides. Clockwork, oh, the Force Staff. No, Unicorn is able to dodge it out. Vengeful Spirit has the blink, but doesn't want to use it. So, yeah, in this position, although there's tons of farm on the Juggernaut, on the Enchantress, and on the Fury, and now going for, I believe, a Mjolnir. Yes, he is. I don't know. There's still a lot of potential for Sigma to win these fights. Now going on Ace, pretty hardcore. They don't have Hookshot, but they have a decent slow still. Looking for a Shackle Shot, not finding it here. And we do see crit on the back end, but he has that blink, has that force, and is just going to start off with a lift onto everybody. There is a nice swap as well. Oh my gosh, the damage on Shashkabal, but he uses the cheese. He's still right-clicking hard onto Unicorn, gets that kill at least, and Rise will fall as well. They did, however, lose the Viper, but it looks like Fucking Mad will be able to windrun away. Pause not so fortunate on the Crystal Maiden. In the end, it's going to be a triple kill for the double damage Nature's Prophet, making it a 4 for 3. If that DD wasn't there, I think they actually would have made it an even trade once more, but instead, they take 4 kills in total. They immediately jump Lynx onto the bottom, and he's still got 10 seconds left on that double damage. Is able to dodge out the Shackle Shot, beautifully done by Lynxon, and walks away. Just strolling with his gold-infused swagger. Haters gonna hate, but this guy is just doing so darn good. He has amazing right-click damage with the Assault Cuirass, soon to be Mjolnir. He's able to split push like crazy, even without Necro or Dezo. And in these team fights, he is just a kill machine, as we see him having farmed up 27,000 net worth. It doesn't matter if you're a Crystal Maiden. If you have 27,000 net worth, you are going to obliterate team fights. And we've already seen that just now. If he gets more lucky runes, it's going to be very difficult for Sigma to overcome. So, yeah, the late game is still potentially there for Sigma with the Gyrocopter having so much farm with the Viper, but it pales in comparison to what this Haiyan has been able to acquire. Just holla holla get dollar all day long, has sold his Midas. With BOTs, he'll be near best in slot, and he just doesn't stop farming. He just keeps going, keeps getting that CS, now moving towards 400 very rapidly, and yeah, he'll be finding, I guess, BOD's Daedalus next. I can't imagine what else he would really need. And every second, every fight that comes out, we see this BKB getting shorter and shorter. 7 seconds for Shashkava. And that means that that entire time, Haiyan's Scythe becomes more effective. Same with Enchantresses. And I think they might have one more on the way. No, not at the moment, but you know it's in their plans. It looks like Clockwork might go for a Blade Mail, just try to reflect some of the damage that comes out from this Prophet, and that's a pretty good idea. Right now, Linkson doesn't have any lifesteal. He doesn't have a BKB, so all that damage coming out will be redirected 100%. The only weakness to it is the raw HP pools we're looking at. Clockwork only has 1700 HP. The Haiyan is sitting at over 2600 with a mechanism with Nature's Attendance. He's actually, generally speaking, going to be able to persist despite that Blade Mail, and also, of course, you can pretty much choose your targets, hitting up whoever you prefer. But still, if you want to do something with your HP pool, this is your best option. Miggle, he can hook in, Ghost for a little bit, and then as soon as the Ghost dispels and they start focusing him, that's when the Blade Mail comes out, dishing out a lot more damage than he normally would be able. Alrighty, a quick item tally before we get into it. A Blink Dagger pickup on fucking Mad. The Shackles have already been extremely on point. Now, we're going to see if they can actually make something huge with these Blink Dagger initiations. Blink Dagger, Orchid Shackle, if you get it on 2, it could really completely change the fight. But they're just so far behind in terms of farm. This Juggernaut now at 20k himself. Look at that Butterfly. Tons of evasion potential for them. Of course, the Gyrocopter will be able to bypass that with MKB, but he could bypass that with flat cannon right clicks anyway, so it's not their big concern. The big deal is Viper is forced to go MKB, and right-click heroes like Windrunner still won't be able to do much either. So fucking Mad is almost entirely limited to his spells alone, and Gyrocopter is pretty much the only major physical damage dealer at this stage in the game. Now looking for a Butterfly himself. It looks like that means that Nature Prophet will most likely go for an MKB, and we do see a Demon Edge here. So that means either Daedalus or MKB. It just depends if he wants to focus Gyrocopter or everybody else. But either way, Linkson can't make a wrong choice here. He's just in such a good spot. And as far as reliable gold goes, he still has 80 more than he needs to make sure that he always has buyback available. And that means he's going to be in a good position for the next fight, which should be starting pretty soon, as we do see Roche already pressured. Mjolnir proccing the Lincoln Sphere. And Linkson can pretty much solo this if he wants to, but we're going to see 3 people come in to help. Ace actually picks up the double damage. I would have preferred to see Linkson pick it up, since Ace really is mostly going to be spinning and dispelling it, but looks like the fight's not even going to happen, so it doesn't really make too much of a difference one way or another. The Aegis of Immortality will go to Enchantress once more, and it's going to be Ace to pick up this cheese. This is actually their first cheese, their 4th Roshan, but their first cheese in their own clutches. We'll see what they can make use of it here and now. Just so darn farmed, though. So darn farmed. If anybody can survive through this, it's a Desperate Rapier Gyrocopter, but with this MKB now finished on the Haiyan, it's going to be very difficult to actually make this work for them, because guaranteed right clicks with this True Strike, the, of course, mini bash and bonus damage. You get the Scotty slow. You've got, what is it, 337 average right click damage for the Nature's Prophet, and the fact that he can be anywhere at once and have 2 lives with a buyback. It's just a hard position to fight against. Alright, this could be the final push. This could be the last thing they need. Again, they have cheese and they have Aegis, and that allows them to do so much more as they're pushing in every lane at once. They're just kind of priming for this final killing blow. They push in the top, they push in the mid, they try to force one person to spread their movement to the top, and that gives them the opening to 5 versus 4 down on bottom. Whew, such a difficult position for Sigma, but if they can find that Divine Rapier farm, I still believe they could possibly turn it around. They still have that small window of opportunity, but it's narrowing rapidly, as we do see Mouse Sports moving in, potentially for the killing blow. Now, this is kind of a calm before the storm. I will mention one last time in this game here that this is for the Typhoon Haiyan Dota 2 charity event, and if you guys want to look into donating to Red Cross to support the Philippines and that in general region that was impacted so directly, type in !donate in the chat and you'll be brought to that website. Now we do look at the initiation on the front lines. Miggle just trying to bring down Rise. There's a lot of damage coming from the Shoskova, actually burning down Linkson, but he does have buyback. The Sheepstick comes out right when the BKB expires, and they both end up dropping. Unicorn healing up quite a bit. Ace having to spin out of the Frostbite. That was quite a massacre on both sides, but now using the buyback, that is going to possibly be the game. Like, the Gyrocopter can't buy back here, and all they had to do was bring him down once. They got the sheep, they got the kill. And although he did put out a very substantial amount of damage, it just wasn't enough here. He needed that Divine, or he needed buyback money. He couldn't afford both, and just got obliterated by those Prophet right clicks. So again, he did a lot. He killed off the 2 supports almost instantly with the help of Miggle's initiation, but they were backed into a corner for majority of this game. And as a result, they could not compete with the level of farm. In the end, a CS count of 544 for Juggernaut and 768 for Nature Prophet. Just disgusting how much they were able to farm. Anyways, again, thank you guys so much for tuning into this broadcast. This was just the first game of best of 3, so if you enjoyed this, please stay tuned for some more amazing professional Dota action between these two teams. But again, this is for the Typhoon Haiyan Dota 2 charity event, and if you want to donate to Red Cross, type !donate in the Twitch chat, and you'll get a link to where you can donate directly. And we appreciate your viewership one way or another, and hopefully you'll be able to join us for the next game. This is Blaze of Dota Talk TV, going into the next game of Sigma and Mouse in just a few minutes. Thanks, guys.